welcome you here. Today we have our class, and it's all about get to the point with Dr. V, your holistic practitioner here at the VRC, and how to avoid burnout. So let's get started, and you can always ask some questions in between. How's everybody feeling today? It's a little hot, don't you think? I felt a little hot. I don't have air conditioning, so it's a little hot for me. I hope you are all doing fine, or you have some wind stream coming in. Let's talk about burnout. I think this is like a really, really important topic. My doctor dissertation is actually, I wrote it about chronic fatigue syndromes. That's part of um, burnout. It's just the worst case scenario, if you want to say it that way. And so when we talk about burnout, we really want to actually look at it, what it is, how to identify that. And right now, with what's happening with COVID-19, with all the riots, with everything what's going on, it is really hard to actually not get burned out. Let's put it that way. It does affect everybody because you're thinking about it. Even if you want to avoid it, it takes extra effort to avoid it, right? So our bodies are constantly doing something, and that's doing something is, as we call, like the fight or flight stage, which is the sympathetic nervous system. So, but before we dive into that, I want to share like how you can identify things. And sometimes we actually identify that we're in burnout stage a little late, then we really having a hard time to retrieve back, and it takes longer to recover. But if we talk about burnout, what you want to see is like, do you have a harder time to actually cope and communicate with others? Hello, everybody who came later. I saw some more coming in. So, welcome joining us here at How to Avoid Burnout. And I was just jumping in, explaining on like how you can identify burnout. And some of the signs and symptoms are you easily or quickly feel overwhelmed, or you snap at your partner, right? Or friends, or whoever is around you, or you're not snapping at them, but you easily kind of have that overwhelming feeling that you're like, oh my God, I can't even do one more thing. Or you're going to feel more, you want to retrieve, or you just have crying spells. Any kind of normal task that you usually would handle suddenly say, oh my God, everything is too much. So you're going into that stage. And then when it's really actually a little bit more, that's when you feel like you don't want to get up in the morning, your energy is crashing in the afternoon, and you're just seeing, oh God, I need maybe 10 coffees to wake up. So the more coffee you need to actually get going, that's how kind of like how burned you are. And we're coming to the word burn in a second, because it's actually a good word to describe it, what's burning here. Okay. So, but if you have those signs and symptoms, you definitely want to just, like look at it and be honest about yourself. And it's totally common right now what's happening, that you're picking up everybody's energy, or being like all the time home, or more home than you like. That can lead to like being overwhelmed, and actually more stress, because you don't have the stress release, because maybe your stress release was hanging out with your friends and family, going out, traveling, who knows what your stress release was, and you can't do it anymore. So that inside gives you a stress itself as well. So when we have that situation, I think what we also need to look at it is what's really happening in our body. So I'm going to explain the Eastern medicine, the ancient medicine part, as well as the Western. So when we're looking at the Western functional medicine and the biology of the body, really. So what's happening is when we are stressed, the body does not really distinguish between a tiger is going to kill us, or there is an action movie really extremely, or there are so many news coming to us and we need to deal with that. For the body, it's called epinephrine, norepinephrine, and it needs that hormone. So we can deal with that stress, and it's a good thing. So the body set us up to say, hey, we're in a stress situation. We need to kind of chop it off a little bit. So let's be sharp. So what does it do? The body just says, oh, we need our eyes. So let's dilate our pupils, right? So, and then what else do we need? Norepinephrine, epinephrine, shooting from the adrenal glands to, yes, open the eyes. And yes, we need more circulation in the body so we can actually run faster. So our heart goes faster, so we feel sometimes palpitation. So that's a sign, right? Or the circulation, what's happening is our blood vessels get actually narrow, um, because when we are needing to deal with the stress situation, the body's pretty smart. It wants to protect us. What it does is, let's narrow the vessels. When the blood flows, we're going to be so tight and hard. So when somebody's going to kick us, we're not going to give in. So when somebody kicks us, our muscles are so tight because the blood is just so flowing through the vessels to this tight vessels. So what does it mean in the opposite? That long term, that could be an issue, and that could be like high blood pressure, right? So I don't know if you're already seeing the connection, but I want to first see what's happening in a short term. It's fantastic. We're getting tight, our muscles are all strong, and we can run really fast because the norepinephrine epinephrine makes us all like go. It's like you have too much coffee. And so that's all really important. And you can breathe, you breathe faster. So that's why you feel sometimes maybe, you have the shallow breathing. So when you stress, you don't really breathe into your belly. You don't have the time for that. You need to just do shallow breathing so you can run faster. So that's what the body, from a biology point of view, really actually does in a stress situation. And it's very important, because if you're really in danger, you actually want that, because then you're going to be so fast jumping through a fence and you're running away or whatever. But now, with thousand emails or work changing and you never have a routine, the body does the same thing. So it puts out epinephrine, norepinephrine, and now we're getting into this chronic stress. So now the body says, oh my God, what we're going to do? So with the chronic stress and chronic energy needed for the body, and the adrenal glands are getting empty, cortisol is the second hormone, big hormone that the adrenal glands put out to deal with the energy needs to cope with stress. So one day you're going to be really tired, though. That's like when you really feel fatigued. That's why people with burnout feel so tired, can't get out of bed, feel more depressed, because when you have no energy, life doesn't look really fun. So that state that I just explained is really the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so that's how it's called. Also, stress, the fight and flight. So that's this part here. Now, when we are here all the time, we have the opposition, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. Here, we actually relax and digest. That's how it's called, digest and relax. In medical terms, we call it parasympathetic state. Okay, so those are in opposition, meaning it's an either or relationship most of the time. So if you're all the time here, you're not really here. So what's here? Here is when you actually have, called also the autonomic nervous system is underneath. There's all the organs, the stomach, the liver, the large intestine, the small intestine, the reproductive organs. So everything is right here. So, and they get nourished when you relax. You can absorb nutrients, you can digest food, you can go to the bathroom, you have sex drive, you feel fantastic. So those are all those things you don't feel really when you're slowly burning out, because you're burning on your adrenal glands and using your epinephrine, norepinephrine. The body puts cortisol out because it's so chronic that tries to survive, that this side doesn't get nourished anymore. So the body's not stupid, it won't let you die. So this maybe just works for not like 100%, but maybe 30%, 40%, but it's not good enough. So you're not getting enough nutrients, the nutrients to rebuild your body. You're not digesting your food. You may have diarrhea or constipation. That's some of the things that happen too, because you're so stressed. And now, after a while, you are so burned out because you're constantly here. Your adrenal glands are just done. So, and that's when you really feel not so good about yourself. Okay. And so when you have also the humming feeling throughout your body, it's like this, I had too much coffee kind of feeling. That's the cortisol. That's the cortisol that drives you because you're pushing with your mind through it, but the body's actually saying, we're so done. Okay. So that's the difference. But so between sympathetic and parasympathetic, and that's when you're burning out, you always hear sympathetic, never here to nourish it. Okay. And then the other part is what's really important to know. It is actually very simple concept once you know it and then say, hey, what can we do to fix that? So in Chinese medicine, and that was always so amazing, they actually always knew that our body needed to be nourished. So they're called the adrenal glands. They sit actually right above the kidneys. So they saw it as one organ and they call it kidney energy and the Ming Mang fire. Because when you have it, you have fire, you're like going and everything just works fine, which is true. That's what we experience. And it's beautiful to have it. I mean, who doesn't love that energy, right? So they always said if you want to be healthy, you got to nourish the Ming Meng fire, the kidney energy, which also called the essence of life, because that gives you the oomph, right? And it's good to have that. So, and as we're going through life right now, I think we should be really mindful to nourish our kidney energy, adrenal glands, and to actually avoid burnout. And we can do it with food, herbs, acupressure points, and lifestyle tips. And that's what we're going to dive in next because I want to give you really the tips to do it. And I encourage you to try it. Regardless like how deep you feel overwhelmed or burned or what's going on with your stress level, those are so important because you only have those organ that once. Like this is your life energy, right? If you want to call it. And we have it so much when we're as a child, when we're 20, we have so much energy because we don't have so many stress factors, right? So as we age, we have more, so we're using them more. So it's very important to nourish them on the daily basis. So always think about it. My teacher always said, don't waste anything, what food or water, just always think about how does it nourish your body at that moment. Otherwise, if you don't know, don't waste your time. So she's kind of cute one. So I have here some that I want to share with you, some foods that are really important and I want to make it easy for you so you don't have to think about it. So if you think of like vegetables and fruits, like more vegetables who are like purple, blue, dark, you know, blackish, they are the ones who are really good for your adrenal glands. For example, I'm gonna write that down. So black sesame seeds. They're really rich in those nutrients to support your adrenal glands. You can put them over a salad, enjoy them, very yummy. And then we have eggplants. The eggplant is like purple black on top, so really, really good to eat them. You can grill them, you can put them in the oven with, I personally love to actually grill the eggplant and then burn it from the outside. I know it sounds a little funny, but burn it. And then you chop off in the center, take it all out, and you mix it with garlic and olive oil. It's a great dip. It's so yummy. We do that in Greece all the time. It's so yummy. So then I encourage you to, when you eat rice, pick sometimes the black rice. So you have like something to nourish your adrenal glands and your kidney energy, right? So that's very important. And then overall, what's really good is if you integrate right now when you feel that way, maybe just once a day, 1 cup beef bone broth. So my teacher used to say, yes, beef bone broth, because you want to be strong like a bull. Nobody says the saying you want to be strong like a chicken, right? Nobody. Yeah. So that's why you want to do this. Yes, it's good for your adrenal glands, but the bone broth is also good for your bones and for your immune system and for your gut health. So it has multiple things. And as we actually age, our joints might ache and so on. So that's a really good thing to replenish your body, but actually nourish also the glands. Okay, so try that. Overall, it would be really nice to take away the stressors from the body. So remember how I said you're putting out when you're stressed and about to burn out, like you put a lot of cortisol out. So if we have too much, the body just puts it out and puts it out, and then it's too much in the body. It kind of stores this the excess into our fat deposits, right? And so nobody likes that really. And then it's the same thing when we actually now on top of it, when we're stress eating sugar or anything processed, it's harder for the body to actually deal, process, digest, and actually do its function. So if you can avoid that, that would be fantastic. I know it's hard sometimes, but if you want something sweet, dark chocolate is fantastic. And anything over 70% has little sugar and it is yummy. And, it has great magnesium. So might as well, why not? Right? So go for that. And yes, so what I like to share now is some teas and spices. And I checked some of the teas that you can find. You can find them on Amazon very easily. So one that's really good for the adrenal glands and metabolism, and also to balance the cortisols, are ashwagandha. So if you want, I encourage you to, you can get an Google at Amazon organic ashwagandha. I found a huge loose bag for like $10. Will last you. You don't need much. Half a spoon a day. Make like a half bottle or 32 ounce of it. Drink it through the day, so you have something to nourish your glands while you're going through the day. It's very yummy. And then the other, I think, alternative would be rhodiola. Rhodiola is very good, and it's going more for the inside of the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands are actually have multiple parts, which is the cortex and the medulla. So everybody needs a different component. But so if you want, you can mix ashwagandha and rhodiola together. Up to you, or you just switch it out. So everybody has a different taste too. The other thing that I actually would like to pair up to make sure the cortisol levels are good and the kidneys get nourished, and that's licorice and romania. It's a very good herb that you can buy and drink, or supplements. They do have it most of the time, supplements. Actually, all those that I just mentioned that come sometimes in a whole package, and that's fine too. So the only thing is that you want to look with licorice if you have high blood pressure and you're on blood pressure medication, you don't want to have a high dosage, but tea's okay because it's not like really high dosage. Okay. That other one that's also like a tea or in supplements is holy basil. It's really good. And that you can choose. That's more holy basil, you find more either as a supplement together with the other ones or as essential oil, not as a tea. It's more plant. So the plant you can actually plant here in San Diego really nicely. It grows well, and it's like basil. It smells like basil. That we're cooking that you find at Trader Joe's, the tomato sauce kind of thing. But this one is a little bit different. It grows. It has on top like purple flowers. That's why it has a different name. And that's the one that you can take and smell on it, rub it on points that I'm going to show you in a second. Really good for that. But other than that, you can totally do that. Okay. So let's dive into some acupoints so we can do that. So if you want, just go along. I'm going to actually demonstrate them and actually do them. So follow me along. Take the opportunity right now to actually really treat yourself and see how you feel. What about that? And if you have essential oil at home, holy basil is fantastic. Okay. But if not, take just the lavender to calm the system. But holy basil is the one that nourishes the glands. Okay. But either way, that is not, you can totally use that. So it's actually, you can use the right leg or the left. It's up to you. So I'm going to show you a little bit. Let me just put you down here a bit so you can see it's on my foot, leg. Let me see, not that flexible, I guess, today. Wait a moment, what's happening? So here, and so if you want, you can just see here. So you go here where the bone is, called malleolus, and between the bone and the tendon, there is there are 2 points. So you can use both. So make it easy, use the thumb. So you cover them both. It's kidney 3 and 4, and you just rub them. And it feels really good. And just do it for a minute to activate that. And when you do it for a minute, you kind of feel something. Depends on your day. It's really nice. Just go along with that. Just do a minute here. It's really nice to just do that. I should have gotten a blanket or like a pillow. Now I have to hold my leg. So better have a better biceps, huh? Oh, funny. I'm a little sore. I worked out yesterday. Didn't think about that. So we have to wait now a minute. Okay, let's keep going. I could do this, right? Yeah, I did some push-ups yesterday, and I'm feeling it. Little problems, right? It's kind of funny. Hey, as long as you can laugh about yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I did it. So this is a good point. So when you're done here with the minute, the next point is I wanted to encourage you to just go up the line. Here's still your tendon. It's in the middle, but you go right above it, right above it. And you see, and then I want you to feel where it's sore. You go slow, just right above it, not really much, just like another thumb, I would say, and you'll see it, and you're like, wait a minute, there we go, and you push in that, massage that. That's a really good point, okay? And you hold it, and you can feel that as you massage it, you feel like, hey, that is something. Doesn't have to hurt, doesn't have to be super sore or anything, but you feel something. It's a nerve, just so you know. So, and they will tell you when they're there. The little sensory. See, you massage it, massage it. Here we go. We did a minute. Good job, everybody. Good job. I love it. Good job. See, this is something you can do. And I promised you on Monday I'm going to bring it today, so I brought it. So some of you have a moxa stick at home because we shared it in other classes. So same thing again, you use your moxa stick, you light it up with the fire, and it will start smoking. And use those points really nicely. You will just hover over it, okay? See, you don't touch your skin. You're going to burn yourself. It's hot. But you hover over it and count till 10, and you take it away. And then you go, move it. You just move along. You have to move it because otherwise it's getting hot. So that's a really good way to nourish your adrenal glands. The moxa stick is fantastic. I'm going to integrate it more and more because I know some people already got that from maybe from Amazon, and you can find it on Amazon. 10 sticks are $10. I just checked before the class to make sure. And it's a very good tool to have at home. And I'm sure we're going to do some more classes when we're talking about pain and how to do self-treatments around pain with that. And I think that would be actually really nice because I'm sure down the line there will be other things that we can do together here. And why not, right? We see each other, so it's good. So, and yes, so we have the essential oil. So if you have holy basil, you can use those 0.2, or you have your moxa stick. Both you'll see it's really nice, okay? And if you can do that daily, just to make sure. If you don't know, you can do it totally daily. There is nothing wrong with that, okay? Actually, right now with this situation, daily would be good. And even if you think you're coping really right, I personally started taking adrenal support again, just to make sure, because I know there's so much going on with all the stressors, right? So why wait till I'm not doing so well? I make sure I'll take it now. So it's kind of nice. Sometimes I say, hey, 4 weeks, I'm going to focus on my adrenal glands, and then I stop again and do other things, right? But it should be really important to do so. Let me see here and all the audiences. Oh yeah, and we have all females. So, yes, for you, it's going to be super important to do that. And you're going to learn more about our next workshop coming up in August about women and menopause and all kind of that. So please join that. I'll talk about why they're so important also for other things you actually need to know and do. So please continue doing this. Very important. And for lifestyle tips, right now it's very important if you have like a group that you like to hang out with and do social distancing with, do that. Social interaction actually increases serotonin and dopamine levels, so it gives you the happy hormone. And those happy hormones are actually overriding the stress hormones. So when people say happiness is, laughing is great medicine, yeah, totally is. It's oxytocin, it overrides, and it's something about I don't want to confuse anybody, but there is in the endocrine system, we call it positive feedback loop and a negative feedback loop. So oxytocin is the positive feedback loop that can override all the negative feedback loops without getting into the whole function of physiology, because that gets too complicated. But that's why it works. So if you can do that, have those social fun and action, it will actually give your body a break so you can actually recoup. So try that. And then hugging. So your partner, if you have a partner, or with somebody you social distance. I mean, there's studies showing how important hugs are. So that's something I want you to encourage, because for the people who are alone, then, I hope you have a pet or you have like one friend or something, and you can just be close body touch. Body touch is important. We have all the sensories there, we have everything. It calms our system down. That's the good reason when a baby cries, the first thing we do is hold it. It's an instinct, right? So we still have the same instinct. So I encourage you to do that. Okay. And then, other than that, we have our energy healing, sound healing classes in yin yoga. Yin yoga is the one that you do to actually support your nervous system and stress response.